Okay guys, this is up on the right side of the roof. As you can see, my clear primer is drying and all the caulking is complete over here. Up high, all this stuff is done. I'm going to climb off this roof here real quick. I then proceeded to just move right down the line. These beams primed and everything's caulked in, and we're just moving right down the line here. So all this stuff here is ready. Pretty much got everything prepped. I might find a spot or two as I'm working, you know, I sometimes do. There's the plank that I mentioned that I was going to put here for us to traverse. Can't really get a good view of that, but yeah, you can see it's caulked in just like we had caulked on the other side, all of the stuff, and lots of primer. We'll go down to the last level, and then we've got all this guy here pretty much prepped. The creases in the plywood were bothering me. I need to take this lamp off. I just haven't had pliers in my hand. The nuts on it are too tight. Got all the outside of all this guy and scraped it and picked up the paint chips and yeah, just moving right on along. All the outside here is also good. I went ahead as well and got into this. All this pony wall is done, inside and out. And then probably the worst piece of wood on the building was the outside of this deck. So I got a hold of that as well. This guy right here is also all prepped out. Yeah, so let me try to back up here. That beam up there that's all caulked in, and that's all primed now with that clear primer. That was probably the worst one. I mean, that took me about an hour and a half just to scrape. But yeah, so prep is coming to a close. Tomorrow I'll probably mask all the windows and get that part ready, and then what I'll do is if I run into anything that I see, you know, that might appear to need prep, I can deal with that. And also for the consideration of the concrete wall, what I had done last night is I went ahead last night and I took a look at a product that is like a concrete primer. And I've used it before, it's just been a few years. I can get it, it's not a big deal. So if we were to do this wall, what I would basically do is I would trench the bottom of it, you know, bring the dirt back, trench it all the way down, and I would spray it with this primer. It's probably going to take anywhere between 3 and 5 gallons because you need to do 2 coats. And it's like a sealer primer for concrete, which doubles and sometimes triples the life of paint over the concrete. So I would dig it out, I would prime it with this product, and then I could paint it in to match this wall. So if that is something that you guys decide, I have done a little research and it does look like it can be done. I have done it a lot over the years, but if I, you know, as you guys say, what would you do if I was to paint this so that it looks better when you pull up and has a better appearance? Then if I was to, I would use that primer. And it makes it, you know, the primer obviously would be a little more and you know, the paint will probably have enough paint with what was already in the initial bid. So you know, you guys can consider that. I can prime it, I can paint it, and that would definitely buy us some time. I have a feeling you might, if you're building an art studio out of this room, then there might be some modifications to this down the line. So the time, the longevity of the paint might not even be an issue. You know, you guys might be like, no, we're actually going to put a new wall here and they're going to have to restructure that to build a wall. Who knows? So it might not be that big of a deal. But if it is something you guys are still interested in, let me know and I will prime that this week as well so that all the paint could pretty much be done in a 2 or 3 day period. So awesome. Great seeing you guys yesterday. We are moving. We are shaking. Pretty much into the day. It's about 4 o'clock. And we are primed. We're pretty much ready to go. Tomorrow I'm going to start masking. And then the party begins when we start putting the paint up. They're set to deliver our rich mocha tomorrow morning. So hopefully that sounds good, and we'll see you guys soon.